Are your people working hard but not reaching their full potential? The problem is not effort, it is development. At the Modern Observer Group, we transform workforce development into real performance. Our human-centered achievement programs help your team think better, communicate stronger, and execute at a higher level. That means higher employee engagement, stronger leadership, and measurable results across your organization. If you want a workforce that performs, leads, and delivers, it is time to invest in your people. Visit modernobserver.com and discover how the Modern Observer Group helps you build a workforce that wins.
The Iran war moves to economics. Russia threatens NATO. A potential cancer vaccine moves forward, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. President Donald Trump on Wednesday issued a stern warning to any nation thinking about offering a lifeline to Iran after announcing the launch of a U.S. operation he likened to an economic D-Day. Today, I am announcing the most crushing economic operation ever taken against any country. This will be economic warfare and isolation on an unprecedented scale, Trump wrote on Truth Social. I am also announcing that any country that allows its financial institutions, businesses, airports, or government entities to provide any type of lifeline to Iran will itself face tremendous economic consequences. Trump did not specify what actions would be taken. The United Arab Emirates suspended all trade and financial transactions with Iran on Wednesday after 2 ballistic missiles were detected heading towards the UAE and fell into the Persian Gulf. Emirati authorities reported that the missiles appeared to target maritime traffic. Iran denied launching them. The UAE Foreign Ministry announced the suspension would remain in effect until further notice, while maintaining that dialogue and regional cooperation remained its policy. The action followed repeated attacks on shipping near the Strait of Hormuz during the current conflict. 4 tankers operated by Abu Dhabi National Oil Company were attacked during the previous 2 weeks, without injuries in those incidents. Since the conflict began, nearly 20 ADNOC vessels have been attacked, killing 1 person and wounding 20. Russia's threat of consequences against Britain and a stark warning from a senior Polish defense official are intensifying concerns that Moscow could seek to test NATO directly as the war in Ukraine continues. The Polish deputy defense minister said his country is actively preparing for the possibility of conflict, telling Super Express in an interview published August 17th, "We are preparing for war, hoping that it never happens." The Polish embassy in Washington told Fox News Digital that Warsaw's accelerated defense preparations are intended to deter potential aggression rather than signal that conflict is inevitable. Israel's military opened criminal investigations into 2 Gaza incidents, including the 2024 killing of 5-year-old Hind Rajab and relatives and the 2025 killing of 15 emergency and aid workers. A military review acknowledged that Israeli troops fired on the vehicle carrying Rajab and her family in February 2024. The review also found that a shell was later fired at a Palestine Red Crescent ambulance sent to reach her. A separate investigation will examine the March 2025 deaths of 15 paramedics and rescue workers in Rafah. The military review covered about 150 incidents. It did not recommend criminal investigations in 3 other cases, including the April 2024 Israeli strike that killed 7 World Central Kitchen workers. Military police will conduct the 2 newly announced investigations. A personalized melanoma skin cancer vaccine from Moderna and Merck succeeded in its first late-stage trial, the companies announced Wednesday, the first mRNA cancer vaccine ever to clear that bar. The made-to-order shot targets the mutations specific to each patient's tumor. Paired with Merck's immunotherapy Keytruda, In a trial of more than 1,100 melanoma patients, it kept the deadliest form of skin cancer from returning or spreading longer than Keytruda alone. The companies expect to begin talks with regulators within months, and the vaccine is already being tested against lung, bladder, and kidney cancers. In a surprise announcement Wednesday, the Treasury Department said it would step up its plans to repurchase government debt, sending bond yields down sharply a day after 30-year bond yields reached their highest level in 19 years. Bond yields and bond prices move in opposite directions, and investors worried about inflation were selling off bonds. The department's decision to increase the buybacks by at least double this quarter was seen as Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent's reaction to recent high yields, which can increase the cost of government borrowing, mortgages, and other consumer loans. But while the market reaction was swift, it remains to be seen if the relief will be long lasting. That's the Raw Naked Truth for August 20th, 2026. Remember to like and subscribe to the Raw Naked Truth wherever you listen to podcasts. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth Daily News Brief, as well as our sister podcast, Carnivore Radio, with news analysis and commentary, and the rest of the Xvadio Podcast Network at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcast app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.